Hello everybody, how you all doing? So welcome to my review of Bloodstock 2025. I've never really done a review before. I've done like the odd vlog, but I didn't do that this year because it was too hard to do basically because of all the walking and I was still struggling with my leg and stuff. But I thought I'd do a review instead because I did manage to see a few bands. So Thursday morning, got up ridiculously early, about 6 o'clock. Got finished off getting stuff packed. We left the house about 20 to 9, going for a breakfast, went to Weatherspoons, and we got to Bloodstock about 10:15 or something like that, 10:30. And we started setting up. We got our wristbands, went through to VIP, so we camped this year, and we got set up. So we were finished setting up by 2 o'clock probably. So the first bands came on. Well, missed the first couple. There was a band called Four Way Kill and Dead Flesh. Didn't see them. But saw first band of, just checking my notes, you have to excuse me. Saw Gnome. Now, Gnome, we didn't get there till quite late. So by the time we got there, it was quite busy. Now, it looks deceptive when you get to Bloodstock, especially the Sophie tent, because it looks like you can't get in. We could have probably got in, but we just chilled out round the back and just enjoyed the atmosphere. So we watched a bit of Gnome. You could see them. They got the screens on. Got brand new screens on in the Sophie stage, which is really good. I'm sure they're brand new. Me and a couple of mates were talking about it. We thought they were brand new. So that was really cool. So we could watch Gnome through outside, through the the poles and that, and they were good. Only saw a bit, but they were good. We sort of mingled around. We went to the couple of merch stalls, saw a couple of people we know who run them, and then we went down to the main stage, which was actually open this year, and they had a big Ozzy tribute on with like Ozzy Osbourne on the screens, on the backdrop. That was very cool. There was people sort of hanging around there. That was quite nice. They played some Ozzy, they played some other artists as well. And then what did we do after that? So we went to watch All for Metal. Now, I don't know too much about them. I know the song All for Metal is quite catchy. Power metal band. And they were good. Saw a couple of friends and it was good. Had a beer, met a couple of friends. So we then sort of, I don't know what we did after that. We went back around the merch or not, I can't remember. But we went, Me and That Man played. Now, they were the Thursday headliner. They were really good. Nurgle's band, Nurgle's sort of side project band from Behemoth. And they would play like a country sort of rock and roll type style. I had my cowboy hat on and a cowboy shirt. So that was cool. So I think we had a couple more beers that night and maybe went to VIP tent or something. I don't totally remember, to be honest with you. This is why I'm doing this now as well, because there's no way I'm going to remember next week. If I do this next week, I won't remember any of this. At least I can remember some of it now, even though some of it's a bit like sketchy. Can't remember everything. So Friday, didn't go into the arena straight away. Sort of chilling out, got some food at camp and whatever. And it was hot as well. Drains your energy. You can't sort of go anywhere too much. My leg was doing okay. Recovered from a slip disc, and I was worried about Thursday. But set the tent up all right and managed to walk around quite nicely. I was still okay Friday, so that was good. What else we got? So we watched Convent. They were on the main stage. They were absolutely brilliant. Death metal band. Well, Death Doom metal band. And they were so heavy. Great. Absolutely stunning. After that, I popped over to the Sophie stage to watch My Diligence, which were like a sort of lighter version of Mastodon, I guess. Similar style to that. They were good. Enjoyed them. They were really good. After that, we went back over to the main stage and watched Flotsam and Jetsam. So I've seen them before. Good thrash band. I mean, it was great. The sun was pounding down. The beautiful day. And like they were just playing thrash, and it just worked. I don't know what time it was. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just great. So Flotsam and Jetsam were brilliant. And then we went back to the camp, got some food, chilled out. Didn't really do too much. I think the heat was getting to us a bit. Went back into the arena. Watched Emperor. Not normally my thing, Emperor, I must admit. I don't really gravitate towards black metal too much, but I met a friend and he's a big fan, so we sort of went down and watched them. I think just before that as well, we were queuing in the merch tent to get our Bloodstock t-shirts, which I will do a video on, do a separate video on those. So we went to the merch stall and then went down the side and watched a bit of Emperor, and I must admit they were good. I went to the middle of the stage, mediumly far back, took a picture, and they sounded phenomenal, to be fair. I must admit I was quite impressed. After that, it was a case of leaving Emperor early, because Emperor were finishing as Nailbomb was starting. So I wanted to see, there's no way I was going to miss Nailbomb. Never seen them before. I love that album that came out in 90, whatever it was, 95, I can't remember. Never seen them, so it was like, you have to see them. And a lot of people had the same idea. It's quite busy in that tent. We got in, even though we, I think we went in about a quarter of an hour early, and it was still packed. So got in, went to the far side. It wasn't too bad. That was a Sophie tent. The set was phenomenal. It was my set of the weekend. I genuinely, it really was. It was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. What did we do then? So we went, met some friends and had some beers, and we went to watch Trivium. Sort of watched them and chatted and stuff like that. It was quite nice, sort of watching them a bit from a distance, having a good chat as well. So you could do a bit of both and stuff, and that was good. They play well. I enjoyed them. It was good set. And then we went back to the Sophie stage and we watched Cataclysm. Now, I don't know too much about them. I've listened to some of their stuff, but they were fantastic. High octane death metal, really. It was just fantastic. They really put on a show. I was really impressed with them. They sounded phenomenal. After that, another couple of beers. We ended up back in the VIP, I think, in the VIP like arena bit, bar section. Like, so that was that. And then we got Saturday. So these were on about 20 past 11. Watched a band called Under a Crumbling Moon, with the U's spelt as V's, so I'm guessing it still says Under a Crumbling Moon and not some weird pronunciation of it. They were fantastic. Post-metal, slow, heavy, brilliant, just what you need. It was getting hot in that tent though. That was the Sophie tent. So we stayed in there for Baal. They were like a blackened post-metal band. They were good. I was quite impressed. They did the traditional black metal vocals, which was okay, not really my thing. But there was a lot of post-metal there, and it was great. Really good. Then I went over to the Warbringer. I went over to watch Warbringer at the main stage, the Ronnie James Dio stage. Warbringer were great. They seemed to be really fresh, full of energy, and I was quite impressed with them. I've seen them before, but they were super good, I must admit. I love the vocalist, and he's awesome. Owns the crowd, like, sorry. But yeah, brilliant. I've really enjoyed that. Then went back over to the Sophie stage. In between all this, I'm sitting down and resting my leg because it's starting to hurt a bit. So I'm sort of sitting down, you know, and I've noticed it's slowly taking me longer to sit down, taking me longer to get up. My leg's starting to hurt a bit, but you know, it did all right, really. I was worried about this year's Bloodstock because of my legs, but I managed quite well. So we went to watch Peng Shui, met up with a mate, and we watched them. I only saw about 2 or 3 tracks. Then I went over to the New Blood stage, and there was a band on, which I can't remember the name of. I'll try and put the name of it up there. Watched a little bit of that, and then we went to, I think we were waiting for some friends to arrive. They weren't getting into the arena till about 4 o'clock. So we went over to the main stage, got our chairs out and sat down, and we pretty much parked up then. So we watched Creeper. Now, I didn't think I was going to enjoy Creeper. They play this sort of goth, rock and roll, and kind of spooky kind of music, and they were amazing. I was actually tempted to get into them more afterwards, I must admit. They were great. I really enjoyed Creeper. Wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't. Watched Kublai Khan. Was a little bit disappointed to them. I don't know why. They just felt a bit flat. like a hardcore band. He was trying to get the crowd going, and he was trying, but for me, it just didn't work. But other people said they were great, so, you know. And then Fear Factory came on, playing the whole of Demanufacture. I mean, it was stunning. I've seen them play that album in full before. That was when Burton was with them. The new vocalist, which I can't remember his name, he was great. The only problem was there was a bit of wind blowing around, and the sound was moving a bit, and you could sort of hear it fluctuating and stuff. But they sounded, when there was no wind, they sounded really good, and I was impressed with them. The whole set went by in a flash, really. They finished off with Linchpin, and it was a great set. So that was good. It was really good to see them. What else we got? So after Fear Factory, darted off to the Sophie stage, and I went to watch Undeath. They were absolutely stunning. Death metal, nuts and bolts death metal, really. I didn't think there was too much death metal there this year. There seemed quite a lot of thrash, but not much death metal. But Undeath were brilliant. It was funny as well, because on the screen when Undeath played, they had like the logo, the Undeath logo, and it was spinning around, and in the background of it was like Doom, the video game, Doom 1, I think it was. And I was watching that. I was watching the band, and I was watching the screen. I couldn't sort of stop looking at it, because I'm a video gamer. I played Doom. I played it when it came out, and I played the other ones. So that was quite cool. But Undeath sounded phenomenal. Really, really good. I was super chuffed to watch them. Went back to the main stage, watched Ministry play. They sounded phenomenal. I was a little bit unsure about Al Jurgensen's vocals. He seemed to be lip syncing, which was a little bit of a disappointment. But at the end of the day, the stuff they played was brilliant. They played banger after banger, and I forgot how many songs I knew. They were really good. I really enjoyed Ministry. I've seen them before, but they were great. Really good. And then we've got Machine Head, stunning. What more can you say? They brought it all out that night. They were brilliant. Rob Flynn gave it his all. They all gave it their all. They were great. Really good. And we went back into the Sophie stage and watched Static X again. Excellent. And met up with some friends, had some beers. It was great. Static X were great. I was lucky enough to see them back in the day as well. So Sunday comes around. Now Sunday's hotter than ever. Sunday's the hot day. It's like, I think it's about 5 degrees hotter, so it was brutal. So first thing in the morning, packed up some of the stuff from the tent, took it to the car, just tried to lighten the load for the next day, and then came back. Managed to get it into the arena by about 11 o'clock. Just missed a few minutes of Barbarian Hermit. They're like a sort of stoner band, stoner sludge, I guess. And they were stunning. Sadly, they're giving it up. It's a shame, because their last album was magical. Mean Sugar, I think it was called. And, oh man, they were brilliant. And it's a real shame that they called it a day. I'd love to see them again. But at least I got to see them then, I guess. But they were stunning. I think I was walking towards the main stage, watched a bit of One Machine. A little bit anyway. And they were good. Like industrial thrash, I think. I'm not totally sure. But they were good. And then I was hanging around to meet some friends who were coming over for the day. Watched, there was a jazz, I haven't written this down actually, there was a jazz elevator, disco jazz elevator music, that's what I called it. And they were playing on the EMP stage, and with a sax and everything. And they were great. It was a mad mix of music, and I imagine a lot of people wouldn't like it, but I like stuff a bit different sometimes, and I really enjoyed that. It was left field and eclectic, and it was disco, jazz, elevator music. Stunning. They were called Z Machine. I was calling them Z Machine, and then one of my mates was like, Z Machine. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, because Z Machine kind of rhymes. That was good. So I'm get Z Machine, Z Machine. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Z Machine. Then we got Rivers of Nihil. I need to get into that band more. I know them a bit. I need to get some albums on vinyl. They were absolutely brilliant. I was like watching the stage, just mesmerised. Their sound is amazing. Death metal, progressive. out of the box a bit. Female vocals, absolutely amazing. I was loving it. It was really good. And so I want to get more familiar with that band. So I will buy some more of their stuff. A band that I tried listening to, which I couldn't get on with, was August Burns Red. Now, when I say I couldn't get on with them, I've listened to them on Spotify, trying to check out their stuff. I wasn't impressed. Live, I was very impressed. They were great. And that's the thing with live music, innit? It's like you can listen to some on record, you know, on a studio album in your home or whatever in the car, and it doesn't do a lot for you. But go live, watch them live, and it's different. It's different. They were good. I was quite impressed with August Burns Red, I must admit. We then chilled because it was so hot. I was baking in the sun, so we found a little bit of shade by the welfare tent. It was a bit of overcast shade, so we got the chairs and we got a spot with some friends, and Denise was there, and we chilled, and it was a lot cooler, and we didn't really move from there. So we watched Fura Svants. Is that how you say it? I don't even know. They were like power metal-y type. I don't know really what you call them, but they were quite heavy metal, power metal-y, and I really enjoyed them. They were good, you know. They were good. Then we quickly popped into the Sophie stage to watch a band called Lowen, which I thought were great. They were like Middle Eastern prog metal, with sort of themes from Middle East and that, and incorporated into their sound. Excellent, but I wasn't keen on the vocals. There was like a wailing vocal, and it wasn't for me. But sometimes I've heard that style before and I've not liked it, and I've come back to it and I've enjoyed it, but it wasn't doing much for me. So then we went back to the main stage, saw Black Dahlia Murder. They were good, I must admit. I'm not really a Black Dahlia Murder fan either, but I enjoyed them. They were great. Again, going back onto that live music thing, you know. What else do we do? So then we went back into the Sophie stage, watched a band called Siglos. How do I explain Siglos? So death metal-y, proggy, industrial, blackened industrial, bit of a sort of a all types of things going on. They were good. They were really good. The sound in there though for Siglos wasn't brilliant. You couldn't really hear the guitars. You could hear the drums and you could hear the vocals, but you couldn't really hear the guitars. But a bit later they came in and you could hear them better. And they sounded even better then. So it's a shame they didn't get that sound sorted. The sound sorted, but that's a festival. That's for you, innit? That's, you know, that's the way it goes. So then we had on the main stage. So we're back over. We got Lord of the Lost, and I must admit I don't really remember too much about them. I don't think they did much that I was into, and I was just chatting to my friends and stuff, and didn't take that much notice. It sounded okay. And then it was a case of going up the front, which I hadn't really done too much this weekend, because I was, especially Sunday, I was really struggling to see Mastodon. Now, obviously, my name's Mastodon Mark. Mastodon were brilliant. No Brent Hines, missed him. You could tell he's not in the band, but they were still great. The set was stunning, and they had a lot of energy. They seemed to be loving life. They really seemed to be loving it. It was a great presence that they brought. The songs were booming out. It was just fantastic. Loved Mastodon. Their performance was top notch. Excellent. So the only problem was my leg was hurting, and I had to walk out about 3/4 of the way through. So I quickly popped into VIP, went to the loo, got myself a beer, got Denise a beer, and then went back to our sort of welfare tent spot in the shade. But yeah, I'm glad I went up there, but I couldn't. I was starting to struggle. I was starting to limp, and need to sit down. What we got? And then we got Gojira. We watched them from the side of the welfare tent. They were phenomenal. Even from there, they were just brilliant. I mean, Gojira, so talented, super band, great. And then it was the final band of the weekend, Obituary. And they were like mesmeric. I mean, John Tardy's vocals are incredible. The whole band were incredible. Just blew me away, really. I was aching a bit by this point, but I managed to see all of them. It was absolutely stunning. It was a great weekend. Really pleased with how it went, because the last 2 years haven't been too good. With the year before last, I was in an ambulance on the Bloodstock day. And then last year I got an infection in my foot. So that was a pretty much write-off for 2 days. So this year's been good. Managed to see quite a lot of bands, really, considering. I can't complain. I was tired at points, but... So, got some merch. Thought I may as well show that. So I got a cap. Slayer cap. Ignore the little sticker there. Little strawberry. So that's not normally on it. We put that on. So I've got a Slayer cap, which is cool. I like this logo. I've got a Mastodon one very similar to that. It is official. I was looking the other day. It's got a label on it. Because I thought, is that a bootleg or something? But no, it's got a Slayer logo on it. So yeah, cool that is. And then got these socks. I don't know if you can see them too well. Slayer socks. So South of Heaven on them. So they're cool. It's unusual for socks, because the actual logo goes across the front of your shin, not down the side of it. So we got a cup. This was a gift from Nadia. Thank you. Absolutely stunning. That will go lovely in the rest of my Maiden cabinet. Thank you very much for that. Look at that. This is ace. That was from the London Maiden show. When they played there, they apparently released these just there. Aces High Eddie. Just absolutely great. So buzzing with that. What else we got? So got the... Right, so found these jigsaws. Now, I've got to be careful of the glare on these. And I'm not going to get them all out, because it might be a nightmare. But these were a bargain. These were. And there was a fair few of them going. In fact, it might be hard to get this out, because it's not coming out. No, I can't get it out. It's stuck. I'll try to show you out the glare. There we go. I can do it like that. So we've got Candlemas. These are 72-piece jigsaws. And they're ace. I've got 7 of them. I've got My Dying Bride. I've got Bloodbath. Saxon. Wheels of Steel. I mean, these are jigsaws. I don't think I've ever seen these before. Death. Leprosy. Just quality. Another Death one. Human. I just think they're ace. And Catatonia. So really cool. They were £1 each. How could you not? There was more could have picked up. It wasn't really bands I was too interested in, so I didn't bother getting them. There's no point in getting them. You know, other people will get them, won't they, and enjoy them. So I didn't get anything else. I got this. Denise got me this. This is a Slayer Christmas decoration. So let's have a look. So this will be going on the tree at Christmas. If I can get it out. There we go. Okay, I was worried about the sword then. There you go, look at that. Brilliant. There's logo there, look. Slayer skull. Oh, it's spinning around for you as well. Perfect. So yeah, I'll be hanging up on my tree. Can't wait to get that on there. A couple of other little things. So when we did VIP, we got a little goodie bag with a t-shirt in it. I couldn't find it, but I'll do it on another video anyway. So Serpent's Lair patch. You get a little plastic sort of lanyard thing with VIP. Serpent's Lair VIP on it. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. I think it's just for sort of... You can't get in anywhere with it. It's just to hang on here, I think. This is a lanyard with all the bands on. It tells you all the bands on per day. So that's... There we go. It tells you the times and whatnot. So you've got the app. You can use the app. But if you've got a dead battery or something, it tells you all your other stages as well. That was Thursday lineup. And it tells you other little bits of info. Some merch you can buy and other stuff, late night entertainment and stuff like that. Rock Fit, Battle of Bloodstock and whatever. So all the little things on. It tells you everything that's going on, really. Gives you information and stuff. These are great. Put them on your neck. And then you've got Serpent's Lair, I don't know if you can see on there, VIP, Bloodstock, that's cool. And then they also give you a hat. So Serpent's Lair, this was the same one as the other year, but on the other one they did actually put on 2024, I think, but they got a year on it, whereas I'm sure that's the same. I'll have a look. I'll have another look another day when we get that out. They also give you a, I don't know where it is, a little voucher. I've lost it. A little voucher for 10% discount off Bloodstock merch. So if you buy a t-shirt for 30 quid, you get £3 off it. Yeah, and that was that really. Bloodstock went well. Really chuffed, because like I say, I was really worried about how it was going to be, especially with all the lifting on Thursday with my legs. Because my back went when I lifted a plate out of the cupboard, and it just sort of felt like it snapped in half, and I couldn't walk after that. So I was dead chuffed. That was June, so I'm recovering all right, I guess. So yeah, been a great festival. They put tickets on today for next year. We bought VIP, luckily. That was amazing, and can't wait to be back. The lineup was, I was a little bit disappointed with the lineup announced for next year. I've got to be honest. But I'm sure there's going to be lots more bands that are going to play, and it's going to be great. And I know once I get in that field, I'm going to love watching them anyway. So it's all good. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you on the next video. So about 1:30 in the afternoon, there was a bit of a dinosaur get-together, you could call it. And they all went and had a mosh in the mosh pit. This is them just all getting ready. My wife Denise is in there. I'm not sure where she is at the moment, but she's in there. And they're all going to get ready, so enjoy this. right, a little bit of an sort of ad hoc moment here. I'm on loose camera, so it might be a tiny bit wobbly. Try and keep it as still as possible. I haven't mentioned any names in this video because I knew that I was going to forget who I met up with at what times, so I haven't done that deliberately. And I wanted to say thank you, Liam. I know I've just contradicted myself and not mentioning names, and I've just mentioned a name. I've only mentioned the names of people who give me stuff this year. So Nadia gave me the cup. Liam, thank you, pal. He gave me the holy water, which was, well, it's in a bottle. It's in Denise's bag at the moment. I'll have to put it on a separate bit. But basically, Liam's given me a bottle of, well, whiskey, 55% whiskey, in like this. It looks like a holy water bottle. It's great. And Liam, thank you, pal. Yeah, so just this little bit extra that I've just done. I just thought, oh my God, I haven't mentioned that. And this is why I don't mention names, because I know I'm going to forget if I do that. And it's be like, and then I'll be like, oh no, I didn't mention them. And oh no, I didn't mention them. And oh. So that's it. Cheers, everybody. See you on the next one.